Thomas Anderson, who works at a Proficient software company during the day, spends his nights breaking programs under the alias Neo and researching the Matrix. Thomas Anderson learns that what humans perceive as reality is actually a simulation created by machines. To break free from this, he joins the rebels. The Wachowski siblings, when sharing their concept for The Matrix with Warner Brothers, express the need for a budget of over $80 million. However, unable to find the expected support from the studio, the Wachowskis take a significant risk by agreeing to make the first film in the series, The Matrix, with the entire budget provided by Warner Brothers, which amounts to only $10 million. They choose to use it in the spectacular 10-minute opening scene of The Matrix, featuring Carrie-Anne Moss as the character Trinity, which is shot in just 4 days after 6 months of training and preparation. Indeed, Warner Brothers is highly impressed by this 10-minute scene and gives the green light to the Wachowski siblings to provide the budget they desire. The Matrix universe, composed of computers, is depicted in shades of green, giving the impression that the audience is viewing everything through the lens of computers. In contrast, the real world is depicted in shades of blue. However, outdoor scenes often convey a monochromatic or entirely colorless atmosphere. The dominance of yellow tones in the fight scene between Morpheus and Neo further supports this, because that place is neither recognized as the real world nor as part of the Matrix. In the beginning of the film, we don't see Neo until about 10 minutes in. The first scene where Trinity and Neo meet is filmed at a real S&M club called the Hellfire Club in Sydney. All the extras involved in the scene are real bouncers of the club, instructed to come fully dressed in meticulously arranged costumes from head to toe. The bug entering Neo's navel is a special design achieved through a combination of CGI and prosthetics for Keanu Reeves. The bug emerging from its cocoon is a prosthetic, while the bug entering Neo is digital. Similarly, the sealing of Neo's mouth is a result of digital effects. Additionally, designing and building the tool used to remove the bug from Neo takes a full 12 weeks. In the first 45 minutes of the film, Neo has exactly 80 sentences. Of these, 44, almost half of his dialogues, consist of questions. Roughly calculated, Neo questions the Matrix universe often enough, asking a question nearly every minute. Before being discovered and trained by Morpheus, Neo is not particularly brave or skilled. As he undergoes training, Neo becomes stronger and more capable. If you've noticed, he doesn't kick much, but rather attacks his enemies with cool hand movements. The reason for this is that Keanu Reeves, who portrays the character of Neo, had undergone neck surgery shortly before filming began. In many different scenes throughout the film, including the opening sequence, we see green computer codes flowing down on a black background. We learn years later what these computer codes represent, supporting the idea of the simulation in the film. In a 2017 interview, the film's visual effects supervisor, Simon Whiteley, mentioned that he took these codes from his wife's Japanese cookbooks and simply flipped the letters backwards. The film had a budget of only $60 million, which is quite low for a sci-fi action film of its kind. Unable to cut corners on effects, they decided to adjust the costumes. Trinity's cool leather outfits, Neo's trench coat, and other clothing items were actually made from cheap, synthetic materials. Keanu Reeves lost 15 kilograms and shaved his entire body to give Neo a skinny appearance for the scene where he wakes up in a pod. The film was shot in Australia because Warner Brothers executives calculated that they would have to pay an additional $30 million if the film were shot in the USA. To cut costs, the producers used inexpensive costumes and even changed countries. However, they didn't overlook getting custom-made sunglasses, which are iconic items in the film. The first choice for the main character Neo, originally envisioned by the Wachowski siblings and Warner Brothers executives, was actually the famous actor Will Smith. However, Will Smith opted for the film Wild Wild West. Other names considered for the role of Neo included Nicolas Cage, Tom Cruise, and Leonardo DiCaprio. However, Keanu Reeves emerged as the Joe Pantoliano, who portrays the character Cypher, and Carrie-Anne Moss, who portrays the character Trinity. The film was originally scheduled for a 90-day shooting timeline. However, the filming process extended, and it was completed in 118 days. The Matrix exceeded the expectations of the Wachowski siblings and Warner Brothers executives, achieving a greater success than anticipated. It grossed over $28 million in its first week and earned more than $460 million in total box office revenue. Its success was not limited to the box office. At the 2000 Academy Award ceremony, The Matrix received 4 Oscar awards out of the 4 categories it was nominated in, including Best Sound Editing, Best Sound Mixing, Best Film Editing, and Best Visual Effects.